All right, week one of Rapid Fire Wednesday with the Gresh Man. Week one of the NFL season is upon us. Gresh, the Patriots are used to this whole banner night thing, having won 5 Super Bowls prior to the one in February. How did the emotions and the pageantry of the night affect this team, if at all?
Very little, Yianni. I think once the banner is unveiled and everybody has their moment and the fans get to honor the Patriots, then it's the whole we're moving on. And I think we've learned that from Belichick with the whole we're moving on to Cincinnati. I think you've heard it from Tom Brady where Belichick's quoted him, our next ring is our best one. So they'll relive it for a moment, let the fans shower the love upon them, and then let's get to playing football.
The last time the Patriots lost a football game, it was in Pittsburgh. We thought the bye was out the window. Brady had that awful interception off his back foot. A lot has changed since then. The Steelers peed down their leg, missed the playoffs. The Patriots won the Super Bowl. What do we learn from that game? Because a lot of the personnel has changed on both teams.
Well, I think both teams still want to run the football, Yianni, whether it's James Conner or Sony Michel or any of the other backs that each side has to roll out. I think both teams want to run it, but we know that the Steelers can throw it. Roethlisberger was over 5,000 yards last year, and I think for the Patriots, it's much more of a modern day kind of early 2000s offense in terms of they want to run it, they'll rotate their backs. If they can hold it for 35 minutes, I think that'd be great. And then you limit the exposure for Brady in terms of protecting him, and you make him more efficient in throwing the ball. So I think whichever team wins the run on both sides of the ball ends up winning this game.
This will be the third time the Patriots play the Steelers after the Super Bowl. I know a lot of fans were a little disappointed when the schedule came out and it was Pittsburgh and maybe not a sexier team like Dallas or Cleveland or Kansas City. Is Pittsburgh the rival of the Patriots over these last 2 decades with Brady and Belichick?
Yeah, I mean, look, how can you snarl at playing the Steelers considering it's a team that perennially you're competing with in terms of, spots in the playoffs or buys in the playoffs. So I'm not buying it at all. I think this is a sexy matchup. I know people wanted Kansas City right out of the gate. I don't want to see Kansas City right out of the gate. I want to see Kansas City once the Patriots have matured a little bit, and then Belichick gets to show some of his hand, but not all of his hand. Week one, everybody can throw everything out there. You don't really know what you have. I want to play Kansas City closer to the end of the season so that Belichick can make a better evaluation on how to beat that team.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin and Bill Belichick both saying week one, you sort of do what you do. Don't worry about the opponent as much because you don't have the playbook, so to speak. What is your biggest question mark about this Patriots team going into week one? Because like we just mentioned, there's a whole lot of things you haven't seen in preseason that'll come to fruition once they kick it off.
For me, it's the offensive line and how that group will come together with Ted Karras under center. They went and made the moves that they did to bring in the veteran level depth to make sure they had insurance policies across the board. And let's remember, they're not big at tight end. They lose Gronk. So don't think that a 6th offensive lineman in certain situations isn't in play for the Patriots in both the run and the passing game. But to me, Yianni, it's all about keeping Brady clean. How does Teddy Karras mix in? And then how do they go about the rotation of offensive linemen, if any, during the game?
All right, Yianni, Gresh, every Wednesday here on the Sports Wrap. Gresh, thanks so much for joining us. Much more from the show coming up right after this.